The blue and yellow can, sitting in your garage right now, isn't just for squeaky hinges. It kills roaches in under a minute, drops a wasp mid-flight, and wipes out an ant trail before the colony even knows what happened. And it costs about $4. Most people never make the connection because nobody in the pest control business has a reason to tell you. Think about the last time you called an exterminator. Quarterly contracts in the US typically run several $100s a year. That's a real business, and there's no upside for that industry, or for a lubricant company, in pointing out that something already sitting on your shelf does the job for pennies. Nobody's hiding a secret. There's just nobody whose job it is to tell you. The story behind this can start in 1953 in a tiny San Diego lab with 3 employees. A chemist named Norm Larson was trying to protect the skin of an Atlas missile from rust and moisture damage. He went through 39 failed formulas before the 40th one worked. Water displacement, Formula 40. WD-40. It was built to creep into microscopic gaps in steel and seal out moisture. Workers loved it so much for squeaky hinges and rusted bolts at home that the company eventually stopped making anything else. Here's the part that matters for pest control. An insect doesn't breathe through its mouth. It breathes through tiny openings along its body called spiracles, connected to a network of little tubes that carry oxygen straight to its cells. No lungs, no way to cough, no way to clear an airway. A product engineered to penetrate the smallest possible openings and coat everything it touches is, by pure coincidence, extremely good at doing exactly that to a spiracle. When you spray a roach or an ant, you're not poisoning it the way a chemical pesticide would. You're sealing its airway. It stops moving fast, and it doesn't recover. This is also why it works on pests that have built up resistance to conventional sprays. Roaches can evolve tolerance to certain chemical pesticides over generations. It's a lot harder to evolve around something that physically blocks the way you breathe. None of that means WD-40 is officially labeled as a pesticide. It isn't, and it never will be. Getting a product registered as a pesticide with the EPA is an expensive ingredient-by-ingredient process. WD-40 sells fine as a lubricant, so there's zero business reason to go through that. That's the whole explanation. Not a cover-up, just economics. So let's get into how people actually use it. For a roach or ant you see in the moment, a 1-second burst does the job faster than chasing it with a shoe. Keep a can under the sink or in the garage for exactly that. For prevention, the real value is in the cracks you can't see. Every house has hidden insect highways. Behind the fridge, under the dishwasher, along baseboards. Slide the thin red straw that comes with the can into those seams and give each one a half-second shot. The residue lingers for weeks, and anything that crosses it carries a trace back to where it's hiding. For wasp nests, spray at dusk when the colony is home and sluggish, and soak the nest thoroughly. Wait until morning before knocking it down, since spraying alone won't necessarily kill everything inside immediately. For ants, look for the trail leading back to their entry point and lay a thin line of WD-40 across it. Ants navigate almost entirely by scent trails, and a petroleum coating erases that trail completely. The colony effectively loses its map to your kitchen. If you've got an older house, the bigger wins are structural. Basements built before 1980 often have a poorly sealed sill plate, the wood sitting on top of your foundation. Walking the perimeter with the straw attached and giving every visible seam a short shot shuts down a major entry route for spiders, silverfish, and centipedes in an afternoon. The same goes for old double-hung window weight pockets, exterior door thresholds, porch ceiling gaps, chimney flashing, and crawl space access doors, all classic overlooked entry points in houses with some age on them. One more trick worth knowing: a small piece of cardboard, coated lightly on one side and tucked into a corner where you've seen activity, under a sink, behind an appliance, in a basement corner, works as a passive trap. Insects are drawn to cardboard's texture and warmth, walk across the coated surface, and can't clean it off their bodies fast enough. It's a low-effort way to keep catching pests without spraying near food. For aphids and similar soft-bodied garden pests, a diluted mix, about a tablespoon of WD-40 in a gallon of water with a little dish soap to help it blend, sprayed on affected foliage in the early morning or evening, can knock down populations. One real caution here: don't spray this directly on the fruiting or edible parts of vegetables close to harvest, since WD-40 isn't approved as a food-safe product. Stick to foliage and rinse produce well regardless. Now for the honest limitations, because a video like this isn't worth much without them. WD-40's propellant is flammable coming out of the can. Keep it away from open flames, hot surfaces, and anything electrical, including outlets, wiring, and meter boxes. If you get an embedded tick, don't use this or anything else on it. Use fine-tipped tweezers. Grip close to the skin and pull straight up, since chemicals or heat can cause a tick to release more than you want into the bite. And treating a fire ant mound or a wasp nest this way is a spot fix, not a substitute for dealing with a serious infestation. If a problem keeps coming back, that's a sign of a bigger entry point worth finding. What's actually happening here isn't some hidden secret finally getting out. It's just a gap between what a product can physically do and what a company has any reason to advertise. Once you understand the mechanism, not the mystery, the mechanism, you stop needing someone to sell you the answer. You just use what's already sitting in your garage. That's it for this one from Hidden Fix Lab. Take the can off the shelf, try the crack treatment or the cardboard trick this week, and see what actually shows up.